Israelites. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Alright, Israelites, we're always going over the history, and man, I always want to just focus on King Josiah. And we Israelites get an understanding of what he was faced with. And oh man, it was awful. It wasn't good. And what was King Josiah thinking when the Egyptians come through? The Egyptians tried to come through the promised land. Man, this dude right here, old Necho, he was on the throne, I think, 2 years, man, before, King Josiah's death, and that he gonna be the cause of it, and that this dude here, Necho, was on his way to help the Assyrian Empire. Judgment had caught up to the Assyrian Empire, and the Assyrian Empire was basically through. It was over with, but this dude was trying to go get them their last standing. The Assyrians had came off into Egypt, come across the promised land. Man, they gave King Hezekiah, man, it's gonna be King Hezekiah. Man, they gave him a hard time, when they tried to come across the promised land. If you look at King Hezekiah's history, now we know that the Syrians came and set up I think it is 6, man, it could be 6, they say 671, but I think it was 691. And we know that, man, around about this kind time, close to that time, when you read King Hezekiah history, and this will be, before the Assyrian Empire collapsed, and then you'll read in the scriptures where the Israelites were having trouble with the Assyrians under King Hezekiah, and how, he had to pray, and Almighty Yah came in and dealt with the Syrians. Well, the Syrians was trying to make their way, men, across the promised land. Judah gonna be the last of the Yah worshippers, the pure Yah worshippers, uncut. Judah gonna be the last of the Yah worshippers, and man, we were surrounded by disbelief on all sides. Even the Israelite tribes were in a state of disbelief, and King Josiah cleaned that up. And I think that the Egyptians and the Assyrians didn't like that in his last days, and they wanted us to be destroyed with them. Judgment had come down on the Assyrian Empire, and you can read about it in the book of Nahum. Look, Nahum 6:97. And then after you read it, man, what, the destruction that will come down on the Assyrian Empire, on Nineveh, it kind of makes sense that they'll get up and try to get on down and save themselves. And that's what they did when they went to Egypt and set up what they call the Setai kings in Swiss, Sais, in Tunis, and so forth. They set up the Setai kings, and one of the Setai kings, the man I think could have been the last. No, his son might be the last one. Plumatutkas, however you man pronounce his name. They have a Greek name and they have a African name. Well, this dude right here tried to come across the promised land to assist the Assyrians, who was in their last, man, it was on their last, it was over with, and he tried to give life to him and tried to defy the Creator's prophecy of the Assyrian Empire being destroyed. If he's going to save the Assyrian Empire and to assist them and try to keep them alive, then he going against prophecy and so forth. And it makes sense for the Egyptians not to be in alignment with Yah worship. And we know that they didn't do Yah worship because they got a multiple demigod system. Alright, look. Assyria's supposed to be destroyed. And look, check this out. As you read the book of Nahum that prophesies Assyria's destruction, you'll see that Assyria's helpers were, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Egyptians were the Assyrians' helpers. So it makes sense that Egypt would go try to assist Assyria in its last days. And we can see that it was a connection between us and the Assyrians and the Egyptians. And then it's mostly going to be the connection between the tribe of Ephraim, who had an Egyptian heritage, being that Ephraim mama Asenath was an Egyptian. So it makes sense for the tribe of Ephraim to have an Egyptian connection. As you see right here, look, this is Hosea 12. Look, Ephraim feedeth on wind and followeth after the east wind, and he daily increases lies and desolation, and they do make a covenant with the Assyrians, and oil is carried into Egypt. So when they got trade going, and they got a lot of stuff going on with the Egyptians, with the Israelites as the middleman. But the thing is, our people were told to stay on covenant grounds and to do covenant worship and not to be mixing up with the Egyptians and the Assyrians and so forth in the beginning of our law and covenant, that we were supposed to sit still and be Yah worshippers. And we know the Egyptians and the Assyrians practice a multiple god system. So we shouldn't have been friends with them as the tribe of Ephraim were. Alright, so it makes sense, for the old Nicho, to try to, slick come across the promised land to assist the Assyrians, but we know that he was trying to really defy prophecy, because in the book of Nahum, which was before the Assyrians' destruction, you'll see that he called on Assyria's destruction, and it came to pass in 612 BC when Ashkenazi under the name of Scythian destroyed them, and then came and pushed us out the promised land. And the Egyptians, I believe that our association with the Egyptians doomed us in our last days, and that old Nicho gonna play one of the main roles in us getting doomed. But I want to go back in history a little bit and show an Egyptian connection, and then I want to show King Josiah what was he thinking about, because he was a prophecy king, and his prophecy was to destroy the Jeroboam religion, which come out of Egypt. The Jeroboam religion come out of Egypt, and the Jeroboam religion, that golden calf, is the representation of Is Horus, which is also Isis, the queen of heaven. And, we got messed up for fooling with that stuff, and we in captivity right now today, man, for messing with the Queen of Heaven religions. And a lot of Israelites don't know that we was chased out the promised land for doing Egyptian religion, and we went into Africa and was enslaved from there. And then how it was no 10 lost tribes. And I'm going to show that King Josiah had the tribes at home as well as the ark. The Ethiopians supposed to be taking credit with having the ark in Solomon days, but we know that that's false because King Josiah is a prophecy king, and he gonna have the real ark, and that it wasn't in the Ethiopians' hands. Man, there's a lot of history to go through here, but I want to go through some first. First, let's set up. An establishment of us fooling around with them Egyptians first, and then you go to Genesis. Man, that'll be Genesis 42, I think. Genesis 42, and this is to be Joseph history. All right. Let's see, Genesis 42. All right, here we go. Look here. And it says, and Pharaoh called Joseph named Zephaniah Paneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the priest of On. And Joseph went out all over Egypt. Look, and unto them was born. Look, and unto Joseph was born two sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. All right, man, I want to show y'all something, man, about that old On place, the priest of On. Man, they got an obelisk. I'm gonna jump off the subject for a second. They got an obelisk that's up in New York. That was this obelisk right here. I'm just showing the Egyptian connection too. But this obelisk right here, that obelisk right there was constructed when we was in bondage in Egypt. When we was in bondage in Egypt, this obelisk right here was constructed in the city of On in Heliopolis, and it's in New York in Central Park, and they call it the Cleopatra needle. And we was connected to the Egyptian religion and so forth and all that, and we was messed up with the Egyptian religion. But this one was erected when we was in slavery in Egypt, and it's in Central Park right now. It's in Central Park right now. See, it was erected around 1450 BCE, and then look at this right here. Look at our Exodus. Our Exodus is going to be 5 years after its erection. You know what I'm saying? We get on down from Egypt. That's when Exodus started, around about that time. We could have been we was in Egypt at that time, and we was getting ready to leave and so forth. We was getting ready to get on down. But that obelisk that's in Central Park was stowed up while we was in bondage in Egypt. I guess they probably hoped we'd had stayed in bondage. I'm gonna see if I can get a little more history on it. All right, this is Heliopolis. All right, this is gonna be Heliopolis, where Joseph, father-in-law, was the priest. Was the priest right there? He was the priest, and this was Joseph was. And it makes sense that we'll go back to these spots when we leave the promised land going into Africa, because we was familiar with these spots already. Look, and then that's where they worship the sun god Ra and Isis, Horus, and so forth. And then this will be where that look in Heliopolis, now known as the look, a pair of obelisks erected by Tutmos in Heliopolis, now known as the Cleopatra needles, stands in in New York. All right, and that is Tutmos. Let's see this Tutmos the third dude. When this devil come on. All right, he died, and he ain't died too long after we Exodus, he passed away, and then he would have been on the throne during the time that we was trying to get up out of there. So, that's probably why they, you know, these folks try to mix Moses' name up with this fella name and stuff. And then, he was an Egyptian that, power conquered, all of Syria through uh, to the Euphrates and so forth, and defeated Ashkenazi, the Matnes and so forth. And uh, uh, he was way up in the way up there. So we know that he wasn't no Israelite. And, we know that when we come out of Egypt, that we settled in the promised land, and that we kind of didn't have no more problems with the Egyptians until the Israelites start fiddle-faddling with the Egyptian religion. Because under King David and Saul and so forth, man, you don't hear nothing about the Egyptians fooling around. They only start fooling around when Solomon came on the throne, and then he started fooling and dibbling and dabbling with all them old people that worship different religions, placing them in the land. Then you start seeing the Egyptians' presence start to pop out, and then not too long after Solomon passed, we're doing Solomon's reign, a tribe of Ephraim member named Jeroboam got chased out the promised land into Egypt to them folks that did the Egyptian religion. And then he would come out of Egypt and put the Egyptian religion on us. Jeroboam was from the tribe of Ephraim. And then we see that the tribe of Ephraim has an Egyptian connection. We see they got an Egyptian connection because Joseph's two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, were by an Egyptian woman, and then they granddaddy was the priest of Halapalis own. So they're going to have a big connection. They're going to have a big connection. Man, they connected to the power source. The tribe of Ephraim was. So that's why it was easy for us to be messed off with that Egyptian religion. And if you read into Tanakh history, it was the tribe of Ephraim that was bringing us down. It was the Ephraimites in the northern kingdom that was bringing us down. All right, let's go to First Kings, man, and let's get a little history, man, before we get into some understanding of what King Josiah had to go through. All right, so we go to the Jeroboam history, be First Kings. Let's go to First Kings 11. All right, First Kings 11:26. You'll see this. And Jeroboam the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite, that's from the tribe of Ephraim of Zerudah, Solomon's servant, whose mother name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king, and this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the King Solomon. All right, but anyway, he was chased to Egypt. Solomon chased him out. The tribe of Judah ain't gonna go. They ain't gonna lay down too easy. The tribe of Judah ain't. And then he chased Jeroboam to Egypt. But the Creator had told Jeroboam that he would inherit the tribe. So if he gets sent to Egypt, get chased out the promised land and go to Egypt, and then they hear about he's supposed to get the northern kingdom of 10 of the tribes, then the Egyptians gonna put him on the Egyptian religion. They gonna put him on the Egyptian religion, and then he from the tribe of Ephraim that's connected to them. Oh man, we fell right into the Egyptians' hands. Look, Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled unto Egypt, unto Shawshank. Now listen, Shawshank gonna be one of the Mishwish kings. One of the Mishwish kings, and then this dude, Shawshank, gonna come in and rob Solomon's son of the treasures in the temple, helping Jeroboam, weakening Rehoboam, and helping Jeroboam, weakening Judah, and helping Ephraim. And I'm gonna show this too. But look, you see Shawshank, they got Shishak. This would be this dude right here. This would be this dude right here, and it's all right timing right there. All this is doing Solomon and King David. Let's see about this King David. Let's see. Look. You see Rehoboam, and look. You see Solomon. All right, Solomon 9:31. That'll be his end, and then that'll be Rehoboam coming on. All right, so we know that this dude, Shawshank, Shishinak, look, see, all perfect timing. He was there. So the Tanakh is right. And history line up with Tanakh history if you know what you're looking for. History line up with Tanakh history. All right, this dude would come across would go into the promised land and rob Judah and try to help Jeroboam get established. Now, if you're looking from the Mishwish Kings too, and the Mishwish Kings gonna be on during Joseph time. You know, the Pharaohs was cool with us, and our father Israel went into Egypt, and Pharaoh gave us some land. That's gonna be the Egyptians from the west side. From the west side of the Nile, man, they control Libya. See, we only get these borders, man, about Africa is because the League of Nations, when the League of Nations divided Africa up, and that Egypt extended way over here, man, they got pyramids. They got pyramids in Egypt way over here and so forth. So the Egyptian Empire went all down over here and stuff. All over here, and they don't want to tell you that. They just want you to think that it was just confined to this little area over there. But that is not the truth. That is not the truth. All right, so we know that that you know, when we was in Egypt under our father Jacob, that the Egyptians was cool, and then when Joseph passed away, and another Egyptian leader come on, is gonna be the Nubian stock. Well, this lower Egypt stock is from the west side, from the Libya side and so forth, and that's the side and the folks that we fool with. And when we exodus Egypt, that we didn't go kick it on the Nubian side or kick it with the ones from upper Egypt, and how we kicked it with the ones from lower Egypt. But the ones from lower Egypt had lost their power up here in Egypt. You know, man, a lot of folks was coming across the North Africa, man, trying to get, you know, coming on around here, man. Oh, man, a whole bunch of devils was settling down, man. Everybody was coming down, because this is where the technology was, and this is where everything was happening at. So, you know, we would go into Africa in the book of Jeremiah when the Assyrians were destroyed and the Babylonians was coming in to get us in the Egyptians, that we would go farther into Africa and be in these parts and so forth. All right, okay. So we see Jeroboam kicking it with Shawshank, and that the timing is right, and that they from the Mishwish tribes, and that the Mishwish pharaohs was pretty cool with us. They ain't try to bother us or nothing when they was on the throne and had power, but it was that Nubian Ethiopian stock that, you know, we mostly had the problems with, and then you can see that in Asa history in the Tanakh, and how he had to fight the Ethiopians and all kind of stuff. But we see Shawshank came, and well, he opened the door for Jeroboam. Now check this out. Go to First Kings. Look, we see that Jeroboam from the tribe of Ephraim around about 931, 41, something like that, ran into Egypt because Solomon tried to kill him, and then that's where he would get that Egyptian religion, because he going to kick it with his folks. He from the tribe of Ephraim got a strong Egyptian affinity, as I showed in the book of Hosea, and showing that they was, you know, kinder to the Egyptians. All right, so let's go to First Kings, all right, we seen First Kings 26, we seen First Kings 40. Now, now, now let's go to First King, what that'll be 12:28. Let's see what they're talking about. And then look, this is where Jeroboam set up the Egyptian religion. Look, all right. So after he come out of Egypt, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. This is First Kings 12:28. And said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of Egypt. You know, the 2 golden calves, that's Is Horus. You know, and you know, we was messing with that stuff when we left Egypt. You know, so it was still among us and hanging around. You know, if you go to Exodus 32, let's see what Exodus 32 says. Exodus 32, you'll see that Egyptian stuff was on us from the beginning when we left Egypt, and it was kind of, you know, if the Yah worship gets strong, the Egyptian worship lay down and be still and be quiet. But if the Yah worship is weak, then the Egyptian worship and all them other worships are going to stand up and try to clown and act a fool. Alright, so we see here the golden calf. And, you know, that's what our folks did. If you go to Genesis 32, and it talk about how Moses didn't come down on time, and that the people got weak, and then they made, you know, golden calves and so forth. But if you look right here in the book of Ezekiel, he'll tell you that we was kind of messed up with the Egyptian religion from the start. So, you know, it was easy for us to do the Egyptian religion and so forth, because we had been pre-exposed to it already. Alright, and then if we go to that'll be Ezekiel 32, Ezekiel 23, and it tells you about the word of the Elohim came unto me, saying, Son of man, there were 2 women and the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth, and there were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the tents of their virginity. In the name of them were Ahala the elder, and Ahavala her sister, and they were mine, and they bore sons and daughters. And this were the names: Samaria is Ahala, and Jerusalem is Avala. So we was messed up with the Egyptian religion for a long time. For a long time we was messed up with the Egyptian religion, but we would get off of it at different spells and so forth. And then that's when you have these good kings in Judah. But the northern kingdom that was descendant or from the tribe of Ephraim, just about all of its leaders and so forth associated with the tribe of Ephraim, look there, all of them bad. All of them bad, because they had an Egyptian divinity and so forth. So, you know, the Egyptian stuff was in the land real bad. And then check this prophecy out right here, that after Jeroboam set that Egyptian stuff up on us, that this prophecy was told right here. And then this probably why they say that the number 13 is a bad luck number, because the number 13, chapter 13 of First Kings, he give a prophecy of the destruction of the Jeroboam Egyptian religion. And by who? By a person that will be named Josiah, and he will be king. And then this was said in 931 BCE. In 931 BCE. Look. So this is after Jeroboam done set that stuff up in Bethel, that Egyptian worship. Look, and behold, there came a man of Yah out of Judah by the word of the Elohim unto Bethel, And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense, and he cried against the altar in the word of the Elohim and said, O altar, altar, altar. This said the Elohim, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name. Upon thee shall he offer the priests of the high place that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. So, that was a prophecy. That was a prophecy in 931 BCE. And then let's see when let me see, 931. 931. Let's get this calculator. Alright, 931. Alright, 931 minus 640. Man, that's 200. That's 291 years, man, before King Josiah was born, that prophecy was spoken of him destroying the Egyptian religion that Jeroboam set up coming out of Egypt, being kindred and friends with the Egyptians. You see how Shoshanak opened the door for him and let him in. Open the door for him and let him in. Then look at this. I think this is when let me see, 1228. Alright, let's see when they go rob Jeroboam. Reroboam. Let me see, set up. Alright, let's go to 1425. Alright. And then look, now we know this same dude right here. Shoshanak. Look. Shoshanak. Rod. Look. Shoshanak came out. Look. And it come to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam. Now we know Shoshanak done let Jeroboam in. As you see right here. Look. See? Shoshanak, he ran to Shoshanak. And then look, Shoshanak come out. Look. And it come to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shoshanak, king of Egypt, come up against Jerusalem, and he took away the treasures of the house of the Elohim and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made. Oh man, came in and robbed him. So he gonna be robbing him for his kinfolks, Jeroboam, who he set up, and then who came into the promised land with the Egyptian religion that was set it up in the northern kingdom. Alright, so now we're gonna fast forward, man, some years in history, man, about a good 291 years later, under King Josiah, when he finally born, because you see it was a prophecy for him to be born to get rid of the Egyptian religion, and then this is what he would be faced with. Let's go to 1 Kings 22, 2 Kings 22, and 2 Chronicles 34 gonna be King Josiah's history, and we're gonna see what's going on. Alright, let's go to 2 Kings 22. 2 Kings 22. Man, I like reading Chronicles history, man, about the kings as well as the king's history too. Alright, let's go. Alright, so we see 22. It's gonna be short. Alright, let's do it like this. So we know that he's a prophecy king, so we know that for sure already. Look, Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 30 and 1 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jadiah, the daughter of Adiah of Boscat. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Elohim, and walked in all the ways of David his father, and turned not to the right hand or to the left. And it come to pass in the 18th year of King Josiah, that the king sent Shapnan, the son of Uzziah, the son of Mushla, the scribe, to the house of the Elohim, saying, Go up to Halakah the high priest, that he may sum the silver which is brought into the house of the Elohim, which the keepers of the door have gathered of the people, and let them deliver it into the hand of the doers of the work that have the oversight of the house of the Elohim, and let them give it to the doers of the work which is in the house of the Elohim, to repair the breaches of the house, unto carpenters, builders, masons, and to buy timber and hewn stone to repair the house. So, all the good kings, if you notice, always kept the Almighty Yah's temple being in good shape and so forth, and will repair it first before they got to start to do anything. Howbeit there was no reckoning made with them of the money that was delivered into the hand, because they dealt faithfully. And Halakah the high priest, this is going to be Jeremiah's father right there, Prophet Jeremiah's father. Look, and Jeremiah come on the throne. Jeremiah come around why I think it was about 8 years or something when King Josiah was on the throne. But look here, let's go to the book of Jeremiah real quick, so we can see he gonna be around during this time, and then the prophet Halakah gonna be his father. The high priest gonna be his father. All right. The words of the son of Halakah. See, the words of Jeremiah the son of Halakah, the priest, and he was around, to whom the word of the Elohim came in the days of Josiah, the son of Amon, king of Judah. Now, Jeremiah gonna be witnessing the last act for the 99% that was doing that Egyptian religion that got chased into Africa. He gonna give our story of what happened to us and our last act on the promised land. Is what the book of Jeremiah is about, and he was gonna be around during King Josiah's time. All right, so we see Hezekiah the priest is gonna be Jeremiah's father. All right, so they repairing the temple and so forth. And Shaphan the scribe come to the king and brought the king word again, and said, The servants have gathered the money that was found in the house and have delivered it into the hand of them that do the work, that have the oversight of the house of the Elohim. And Shaphan the scribe showed the king, saying, Hezekiah the priest have delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. See, they didn't have the law then. They just now found the law. And it's a couple of times that we had just found the law and wasn't going by the law, because we had just found it and had been off of it for a while because a bad king had been in place and so forth, and they put the law on the back burner. Look, let me see if I can find something showing that we messed up on the law quite a few times. Let's go to Judge 834 and see what it say. So it's been plenty of times we ain't been on the law, and then we was messed up. And then when we finally get back on the law and find our ways, then, we get back on track. Now, where is that? All right. 834. Judges 834. 834. All right. Look. And the children of Israel remembered not the Elohim their Yah, who had delivered them out of the hands of their enemies on every side. All right. Forgot the law. All right. And then you go to 2:12, I think. What's that? 2:15? How could I pass it up? Plenty times we didn't have the law. 2:15. Let's see, what's that? Alright, that'll be Judges 2:15. Let's see. Whatsoever they went out, the hand of Elohim was against them for evil. And he said unto them, as the Elohim had sworn unto them, and they was greatly distressed. No. Alright, so but it was a time we didn't have the law then, in and it was hot against Israel and delivered them into the hands of spoilers, because we didn't have the law. It's quite a few times in Tanakh history we didn't have the law. Let me see what this 17, 2 Chronicles 17:9. So he found the book, but he was already into the ways, and they taught in Judah and had the book of the law of the Elohim with them, and went out throughout all the cities of Judah. That's Jehoshaphat. You know what I'm saying? They had the law. Judah with the book. Judah always kept the book. Judah had the book. Judah had the covenant and so forth. The Ark of the Covenant with the tablets in it and so forth. So, but it was times, the priests would reconstruct the law and books and so forth and scribes, and we would put that on the back burner when bad kings come in. So, during King Josiah's time, they had rediscovered, the law. All right. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king and brought the king the word. All right, so he said, let me see. And the king commanded Halakah the priest, and Halakah the son of Shaphan, and Achbar the son of Micah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asher the servant of the king, saying, go ye and inquire of the Elohim of me and for the people and for all Judah concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Elohim that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not hearkened unto the words of this book, to do according to all that is written within concerning us. So, he gonna hate that the Egyptians is coming across the land to assist the Assyrians in any kind of way. If he done found the law and he back on the law, you know what I'm saying? If he back on the law and he done found the law, he ain't gonna be with the Egyptians. He ain't gonna be with the Egyptians coming through. So let's read. Let's get 2 Chronicles in a Tanakh, man, read it. Because, man, it get real deep when you read it in a Tanakh here. Alright. 2 Chronicles study. I'll read King Josiah. 2 Chronicles 34. Alright. Here we go. And then we're going to read this all the way out because it got a better read. Josiah was 8 years old when he become king, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. He did what was pleasing to the Elohim, following the ways of David, his father David, without deviating to the right hand or to the left. And in the 8th year of his reign, while he was still young, he began to seek Yah of his father David. In the 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem of the shrines and the scared posts in the idol. See, that's him finna clean up the Egyptian religion, like that promise that he was given during Rehoboam time, when Jeroboam put the Egyptian religion up on the northern king, and then he got that prophecy that somebody named Josiah will be born that would disturb and destroy that stuff. Well, here it is taking place right now. Look, in 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem of the shrines, the scared posts, the idols, and the molten images. And at his bidding, they demolished the altars of Baalis and had the incense stands above them cut down. He smashed the scared posts, the idols, and the images, ground them into dust, and strewed it onto the graves of those who had sacrificed to them. He burnt the bones of priests on their altars and purged Judah and Jerusalem, and then in the towns of Manasseh, Ephraim, and Simon, as far as Naphtali, lying in the ruins on every side, he demolished the altars and the sacred places. So let's look and see. He gonna clean up the whole. He gonna clean up the whole town of the Egyptian religion, getting rid of it, getting rid of it. Cause we know that the Egyptian religion was what Jeroboam brung out. But look, let's see what King Josiah is cleaning up. Let's see what he's cleaning up. Look, all this right here. He cleaning up all this right here. All Ephraim, all up here to Naphtali, the kind of the end of our heritage. He cleaned up the whole land. He cleaned the whole land up the Egyptian religion. He cleaned the whole land up of the Egyptian religion. So you know they gonna be hot. They gonna be real hot. And then that's gonna be why Nietzsche and them coming through in the last days, because the Assyrian Empire basically been destroyed 612 BC. So it really didn't make no sense for him to come across and try to assist the Assyrians, being that they was, destroyed already. Alright. He demolished the altars and the sacred posts and smashed the idols and ground them into dust and hewed down all the incense stands throughout all the land of Israel. Look, throughout all the land of Israel. Then he returned to Jerusalem. Now it wasn't no 10 lost tribes. You can see this in his history. Look, and in the 18th year of his reign, after he purged the land in the house and commissioned Shaphan, the son of Uzziah, and Maaseiah, the governor of the city, and Johar, the son of Jehoaz, recorder, to repair the house of the Elohim, his Yah, that they come to the high priest Halakai, and delivered to him the silver brought to the house of Yah, and the Levites, the guards of the threshold, he collected from Manasseh, Ephraim, and from all the remain of Israel, and from all Judah and Benjamin, the inhabitants of Jerusalem. See, so it wasn't no 10 lost tribes. Everybody's still at home. And they delivered in unto the custody of his overseers who were in charge at the house of the Elohim, and the overseers who worked in the house of the Elohim spent in on examining and repairing the house, and they paid it out to the artisans and the masons to buy carried stone and wood for the coupling and for the making of the roof beams and on the building. And the king of Judah had allowed to fall into the ruins. The men did the work honestly. Over them were appointed the Levites, Johan, the Obadiah, the son of Meri, Zechariah, Meshullam, of the sons of Korah, the supervisors, while other Levites, all the master musicians, were over the porters, supervising all who worked at each and every task. Some of the Levites were scribes. Look, scribes and officials and book and gatekeepers. As they took out of the silver that had been brought into the house of the Elohim, the priest Halakai found a scroll of the Elohim's teachings given by Moses. So he done found the law. Look, all right. Halakai spoke up and said to the scribe Shaphan, I have found a scroll of the teachings in the house of the Elohim, and Halakai gave the scrolls to Shaphan. See, but he had cleaned the Egyptian religion up before he even found the scroll to do right. So that prophecy of destroying the Egyptian religion from Jeroboam times came to pass, and it didn't need no help from no scriptures. Look, Shaphan brought the scroll to the king and also reported to the king all that was entrusted to your service is being done. They have melted down the silver that was found in the house of the Elohim and delivered it into those who were in charge to the overseers. The scribe Shaphan also told the king, the priest Halakai had given me a scroll, and Shaphan read from it the king to the king. When the king heard the words of the teachings, he tore his clothes. The king gave order to Halakai and Achim, the son of Shaphan, and Adon, son of Mik, and the scribe Shaphan and Asiah, the king's minister, saying, Go inquire of the Elohim on my behalf, and on behalf of those who remain in Israel and in Judah concerning the words of the scroll that was found, that has been found. For great indeed must be the wrath of the Elohim that has been poured down upon us because of our fathers did not obey the word of the Elohim and do all that is written in this scroll. And Halakah and those whom the king had ordered went to the prophetess Huldah, wife of Shaham, son of Token, son of Harsha, keeper of the wardrobe, who was living in Jerusalem. Man, she gonna tell him it's curtain falls. Alright. And spoke to her accordingly, and she responded to them, This said the Elohim Yah of Israel, say to the man who sent to you me, This said the Elohim, I am going to bring disaster upon this place and its inhabitants on all the curses that are written in the scroll that was read to the king of Judah, because they forsook me and made offerings to other gods in order to vex me with all the work of their hands. My wrath shall be poured out against this place and not be quenched. And then that happened in the book of Jeremiah when we got chased out the land. Look, all right. But say unto the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of me of the Elohim, this said the Elohim, Yah asked for the word which Yah have spoken, since your heart was softened and you humbled yourself before Yah when you heard his words concerning this place and its inhabitants, and you humbled yourself before me and tore your clothes and wept before me. I, for my part, have listened and declared this. I will surely gather you to your fathers, and you will be laid in your grave in peace. Your eyes shall see nothing of disaster that I will bring upon this place. And he didn't see the disaster when Ashkenazi pulled up. And man, they wasn't no joke. When these folks pulled up, he didn't see them. And it was horrible. It's the worst thing that the Israelites ever experienced besides the transatlantic slave traders when these folks came and got us off the promised land. All right, so, the king, he gonna find the book and he gonna be shook up. And look, the king sent and assembled all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. The king went to the house of the Elohim with all the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, trying to get it right because they know it's finna be over. The priests and the Levites and all the people, young and old, and he read to them the entire text of the covenant scroll that was found in the house of the Elohim. And the king stood in his place and solemnized the covenant before the Elohim to follow the Elohim and observe his commandment in injunction and his laws with all his heart and with all his soul, to fulfill all the terms of the covenant written in this scroll. He obligated all the men of Jerusalem, Benjamin, were present, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to act in accordance with the covenant of Yah of their father. Josiah removed all the abominations from the whole territory of the Israelites. He removed all from all the whole territory of the Israelites. Obligated all who were in Israel to worship the Elohim their Yah throughout his reign. They did not deviate from following the Elohim their Yah of their fathers. We know that if King Josiah making everybody stop doing Egyptian religion, that who gonna pop up? Who gonna pop up? It ain't gonna be none other than your boy right here. It's gonna be your boy right here. Old Black Devil, Nicho. He gonna pop up. He gonna pop up. And this is what he say to King Josiah. All right. King Josiah was finna get it up with him. And that the Egyptians shot him. Look. All right. So then the founder scroll, they removed the parts of the burnt offering. So he done did all the sacrifices. He done brought everybody back up under the covenant. The entire service of the Elohim was arranged well that day, and to keep the Passover, and to make the burnt offerings of the altar of the Elohim according to the commandment of King Josiah. All the Israelites present kept the Passover at that time and the feast of unleavened bread for 7 days since the time of the prophet Samuel. No Passover like that one had ever been kept in Israel, and none of the kings of Israel had kept a Passover like the one kept by Josiah the priest of the Levite, and the Levites, and all Judah and all Israel that was present in the inhabitants of Jerusalem. That Passover was kept in the 18th year of the reign of Josiah, after all the furbishing of the temple. Josiah, by Josiah, King Necho. Look, King Necho, that devil right there. King Necho of Egypt come up to fight at Carchemish on the Euphrates. See, it was a slick move right there. That was real slick. And what a coincidence, after he cleaned the Egyptian religion up and then got it all out the land. Guess what devil popped up? Necho. Old Necho popped up. You know what I'm saying? And they try to write it slick, but we know that Necho ain't gonna like that Egyptian religion being cleaned up off the promised land, knowing that the Israelites been on it for a long time. Been on it for a long time. So he ain't gonna be too happy. He ain't gonna be too happy with the Egyptian religion being cleaned up. And then what a coincidence, this devil pop up. Look, King Necho of Egypt come up to fight against Carchemish. Now he's supposed to been going to help the Assyrians on the Euphrates, and Josiah went out against him. And Necho sent messengers to him, saying, "What have I to do with you, King of Judah? I do not march against you this day, but against the kingdom that wars with me. And it is God's will that I hurry. Refrain then from interfering with Yah, who is with me, that he not destroy you." But Josiah would not let him alone. Instead, he donned his armor to fight him, heedless of Necho's words from the mouth of God, and he come to fight in the plain of Medigo, and archers shot King Josiah and the kings. See, man, this devil, even though it was a prophecy, for the Assyrians and the Egyptians to come across the land, he gonna exploit that. He gonna exploit that and catch King Josiah right. Catch him in the crosshairs, because we know way before time that way before King Josiah was born. See, them Egyptians slick, that they'll try to turn prophecy against you in a sense, and I believe that this devil was slick and knew this right here. And he used this against King Josiah. So King Josiah just cleaned the Egyptian religion up. He just cleaned the Egyptian religion up. So what do you want to let Necho come through for? And Necho is an Egyptian false god worshiper and so forth. But Necho was exploiting this. He had to know about this right here. Look. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrians shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptians into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians, and in that day shall Israel be the third with the Egyptians. See, they gonna exploit that. Necho gonna exploit that and catch him at the time that he cleaned the Egyptian religion up, and then to try to come across the promised land, knowing that it was a prophecy for the link up between Assyrian and Egypt, because it was some Israelites that was taken to Assyria to assist them to fight men against Ashkenazi. I mean, to fight against Ashkenazi. Look at this. Let's look at some of Necho history. All right. And I told y'all that Necho was going to fight them, but he used that prophecy to get King Josiah in the crosshair and so forth. And he knew King Josiah just cleaned the Egyptian religion up off the land, and then he gonna try to come through knowing that it was a little slick prophet. It's like a little get out of jail free card he used and stuff. That he knew he ain't supposed to come across the land, but then he knew it was a prophecy that allowed him to come across the land, and he used that one time, the Egyptian kings used that one time card to get through. But, it hurted us. And look, after King Josiah's death, that this devil Nietzsche gonna put King Josiah's sons on the throne that would do Egyptian religion, and then that'll make us go into Africa. Look, Nietzsche played a significant role in the histories of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, and the Kingdom of Judah. Nietzsche II is mostly likely the Pharaoh Nietzsche was. They know it is in the book of Jeremiah. The aim of the second Nietzsche campaign was Asiatic conquest. No, when it was to help the Assyrians down to contain the eastward advantage of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. All right, look, so he would be up on the Euphrates and so forth. Look down here, they even tell you that it was the Scythians. Look, man, up on the session, Nietzsche was forced with the chaos created by the raids of the Cimmerians and the Scythians. That's Ashkenazi, and that's Ashkenazi who would eventually destroy us, and then come into Egypt and then take Egypt over for about 50 years under the Babylonian title and so forth. So King Josiah just cleaned the Egyptian religion up, and then these folks slick tried to put it back. It is all it was, because after King Josiah's death, they put the Egyptian religion on the tribe of Judah, and that destroyed us. And that's what the book of Jeremiah is about, us going into Africa to do the Egyptian religion after this dude put it on us. This dude put it on us. He put it on us. He put it on us in the book of Jeremiah. And we were going to Africa to do their religion, which caused our enslavement. All right, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. That's the reason why, there will be what King Josiah was thinking when the Egyptians come through is, hey man, look at these old devils coming back. I just cleaned the Egyptian religion up, and here they come back again. All right, message from the Israelite Brotherhood.